I'm going to work on maintaining my, whatever I got here, 4415, 4420. As soon as the airplane brakes, I'm going to apply full rudder, and I'm going to use right rudder in this case, holding the nose up to maintain that altitude. There's the light. As soon as it brakes, full right rudder. The airplane falls over, a spin starts to develop. There's the first turn, getting a little tighter. What you have to do is opposite rudder, stop the rotation. Now we're just in a steep dive. Pull out nice and smooth, and what do you know? We lost 1,500 feet in about several seconds. It's really, all you have to do is do the opposite of what you did to put it back in. So in this case, I held the rudder all the way down to let that, we established at least one turn. We might have gotten partially into a second. I figured I recovered about 1.5, 1 3/4. But opposite rudder to stop the rotation. And as soon as you stop the rotation, then it's just a steep dive. And just pull out nice and smooth. So the order of operations, and you're not really going to run into it too awful much in a airplane like this, but in an aerobatic airplane or something, when you might get into a spin with power on, always remember power off, opposite rudder, smooth rollout. Don't try to recover from a spin with power on. Power off, opposite rudder, smooth rollout.
Because that's just going to make the ground come that much quicker with the power on.
That's right, and it's going to aggravate the situation.
So just leave the power where it's at, and the aileron should be neutral.
Yes, do not try to recover from what you're doing. You've already got one wing stalled, and you can aggravate that critical angle of attack being exceeded by increasing the angle of attack with ailerons. So just leave the ailerons neutral. There's no point in messing with them. All they're going to do is waller around anyway. You get into a different, more high-performance aircraft, and you might find yourself in a position where ailerons would aggravate it, but they're not going to help. Leave them alone.
So you're just basically you're not even banking in a direction of turn. You're just putting in too much rudder in one direction.
Absolutely. Yep. If you noticed, the yoke came all the way back. The right rudder went to the floor. I held the yoke back. So the only thing that gave us that rolling moment that you got was the rudder in the elevator. There was no aileron input, no roll input at all. It remained neutral the entire time.
About 10 miles to the west, maneuvering 3,000.
You want to try one?
Sure. Let's go to 5,000.
Okay. You want to climb it? Or you want me to climb it?
I'll climb it.
Okay. Your airplane?
All right. My airplane.
You have the airplane. All right. You good for a fuel change?
Yep, we can do that.
Pump is on.
Fuel pressure is fine.
And in the D10 on the left tank.
1 mile away from the field. Depart downwind.
And we'll climb to 5,000.
Spins are actually really fun. I mean, I totally understand. You can use 45 if you like, but 5 I'm perfectly fine with. Usually, you would recover immediately as soon as you feel it, and you don't have to let it develop as far as I did. But if you noticed at first, it was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, this isn't so bad, and then it tightens.
Yeah.
And it's that tightening that I would certainly not want you to experience without me being in here with you.
Right. It was like, it got like maybe 45 degrees and was just easing into it. Then it kind of whipped into it.
And I didn't change anything. It was the airplane orbiting around that wing that's flying. Double check our traffic here.
South break, November.
Yeah, we're looking good.
43 Golf, left base 31 South South. Traffic Archer 504 Alpha, flying station approach, holding at 1,700, climbing 2,500. Hi, Kevin. Hey.
In some airplanes, I've never tried it in a Cherokee, but I mean, there was plenty of rudder authority. I did not have to slam the opposite rudder. I was able to apply a moderate amount of pressure to the other rudder, and it came right out. But in some airplanes, like a Cessna, as you indicated on your video that you watch, you can literally just let go, and the plane will come out on its own.
And so you're just keeping it in that stall.
In the stall and in the spin by holding the rudder.
And holding the back pressure.
Absolutely, yes sir. As you come back and you cause that stall to occur, you hold the yoke back in your lap. And that you're going to hold that yoke back until you get the rotation stopped. So the yoke stays back, pedal goes to the floor. Whenever you decide that you want to initiate your recovery, opposite rudder, the yoke is still back. Then, once you have the airplane in that steep descent, is when you do your smooth rollout.
Okay. So, and you had the power off.
Yes, sir.
Power
Throughout the entire maneuver.
Okay.
Because you're going to have excess energy at the bottom of it.
So we got power to idle.
Okay. And I'm with you right here.
Okay. Great. And we are got a little bit of pitch because we're decaying that airspeed.
Yep. Just hold on to your altitude. And once you feel it start to break, full rudder, one direction or the other, and hold that yoke back.
Downwind, going base, final.
Like that?
Yes, sir. Hold what you got.
Tell me when to stop.
Enter traffic 292 Kilo Foxtrot is 10 miles south of the field.
And recover.
Inbound.
Nicely done.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
No, it's just the sensations
That's
of what's going on, and
that pit in your stomach that you got to get over.
And the G-force is pushing on your face. And
That's
all
it.
that. Yeah.
That's it. It's not a big deal.
So to go to the left, you did the exact same thing.
Precisely.
Okay. Well, that's great for me.
That's only 1,000 feet if you want to feel one to the left.
Yeah, let's do that. Let me do one to the left, just so I
Get it all out of the way.
get it all out of the way. Like, if you're sitting in the passenger seat or observing someone else do it, it seems like it's happening a little bit quicker than what it is. But like when I was doing it, it seemed like it was happening a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does, because not only, whenever you're watching me do it, you're trying to figure out, number one, what's the airplane doing? Number two, what's he doing? And number three, what's happening when he does it? When you're controlling it, you know what you're doing, so all you're watching is what the airplane does. And then you put an input in, and you're like, oh, well, shoot, that worked pretty easy.
And like you said, it was very, very little rudder that was necessary to break that. I mean, I didn't stomp it all. I just put a little toe pressure on it.
And not all airplanes are like that. Don't
let that be.
Don't let that miss. Don't let a good, well-designed airplane like this. Is this design antiquated? Yes. Is it super efficient? No. Is this a safe airplane in terms of its design? Absolutely. But I wouldn't do that in a Cirrus.
Right.
I wouldn't initiate a spin. And faster airplanes, slicker airplanes, it's a different story. But the trainers like this, they're usually very easy to recover from. Let me check our traffic real quick before we do this. We got one dead ahead, but he's 32,000 feet above, so I don't think he's going to be a factor. Looks like it's all us.
All right. So we're going power to idle.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to begin our pitch up.
You just hold your altitude. I want you to focus on the altitude more so than the preset amount of pitch. You pick your own recovery point this time. It's up to you.
And we're holding that and holding the pitch. And there we go. Let off, little right rudder. Yeah, it's recovering itself, basically.
That's right. And throttle. Don't let that bleed off on you on the backside. Get surprised with a stall.
Get a secondary stall going.
Well, you could certainly get a secondary after you had the initial. Or you mean secondary after the spin?
Right.
I see.
Yeah, well, that was a stall spin. Then
That's
you get
right.
a secondary. Because just like on the Lazy 8, on the backside, it doesn't take much pitch to get rid of a lot of airspeed.
That's true.
Especially if you don't have no excess thrust like power to counteract that.
Right.
Like Norman traffic.